Hey, what's up guys? This is the Herm. Just giving you a little bit of a quick look and update on my tanks on this day and time. So you can see everything is doing really well. Corals are all opened up, thriving, growing, flowing with the current. See, I got a new golden torch right there. It's a 24 karat gold torch, which is right there. I'm actually gonna pick up a banana gold torch for my Achilles tank, but we'll get that. We'll get into that in just a bit. Other than that, this tank, this 525 Red Sea XL, has been doing great. Lights have been doing good. The Red Sea 160, the 90s, and even the 360s Kessels have been rocking this tank with good spectrum, good lighting, good par, micromoles and all. It has been doing well. Now, that being said, when you're gonna be growing SPS, you gotta have at least a 200 minimum par. All right, so it's got to be 200 micromoles of par, at least minimum. Okay, acros don't really like that low lighting. They like more mid to high range of you can say micromole par spectrum. Okay, and or intensity, whatever you want to call it. All I'm saying is that if you're gonna have acros, if you're gonna have SPS, you gotta have the proper lighting. These days people are buying the expensive nice lighting. They want that Wi-Fi, they want that app capability, they want all that goodness that comes in with that light. They don't want to set it and, you know, not forget it, because you can't do that if you don't have the app, if you don't have the Wi-Fi. You always got to come back and keep reminding yourself each day to set it and set it, turn it on, turn it off. So there's got to be some sort of control. You know, either it's by you, the human factor, or by, you know, the so-called machine, AI, Wi-Fi, whatever you want to call it. There's got to be some sort of intelligence in these machines in order to operate themselves regardless. So all I'm saying is that when getting into this hobby, the whole point of being in this hobby, this reefing hobby, is to see things like this. You want to see things thriving. In order for it to thrive, you got to have stability, but you got to have patience as well. You know, just to let you know, you guys, when I do my videos and I do my things, I sometimes tend to forget also that, you know, I'm not trying to do the how-to videos or trying to give you a lesson on how to make things work correctly or how to make it operate correctly. I'm just showing you a glimpse of my fish tanks and my aquariums, on how they're doing in my household and my environment, how I'm operating them. You know, I don't do things straight by the book. Things are done a little differently with me. I dose things that people don't tend to dose frequently in their systems. Like, I will dose boron, I will dose sulfate as a routinely thing each day. Some people don't do that. Most people don't even do that. They just simply dose the magnesium, calcium, alkalinity, do the simple water changes and call it a day. My systems, I wish I can have it that easy, but I learned from ICP testing and with my usual test as it is with nitrates and phosphates and alkalinity, calcium, magnesium, that mine requires a little bit more. Now, I noticed that when I do my ICP test, sulfate seems to always be an issue with my systems. Why? I don't know. But it's always asking me to dose almost 200 to 300 milliliters of sulfate daily for like almost a week's time just to get it back to certain levels. Even with the Tropic Marin salt that I've been putting in, I'm still getting readings like that from my ICP test, and I do the Triton ICP. So, you know, all I know is that by doing the math and everything, I was able to calculate how much of a dosing regimen I would need for my sulfate levels to stay at a stable range within my systems, in order for me not to do the ICP test and simply always get that needing to dose this much in a so-called element that I find, you know, wow, really? You know, so all I'm saying is that you have to understand your own system. Testing is a good weapon when it comes to the reefing hobby. We need to test. You have to test. I get people coming in when I'm selling a little piece of something or I'm giving away a frag or something, and I ask them what their Hold on, guys. Okay, so sorry about that, guys. I had to silence my dogs for a little bit. They were barking out of control. So yeah, testing is a key thing when it comes to reefing. You know, and some people say, why you do ICP tests? Why you got to do this? Why you got to do that? Why not? Why not do it? You know, who cares if it's at a time when I shouldn't need to do it, or if I need to do it? Just do it because you feel like you want to do it. If you feel like there's nothing wrong with your reef tank and you're looking at it and everything looks stable, everything is stable, and your dosing regimen is basically, you have it at a point where, you know, it's routine and not displaced like here and there, certain days, this and that. You got to keep it, you know, the same. Stability is key. So if you want to do an ICP test, it's always good to do an ICP test even when things aren't even going wrong. You don't need to wait for something to go wrong to say, hey, oh, I got to do the ICP test. Oh, what's going wrong? Just do it. Just do it. You know, there's so many people on the YouTube and this and that, and things go wrong because they wait for things to go wrong. And when it comes to your sump system, you know, me, I'm not one of those guys that loves those back filtrations, that all-in-one tank with the filtration in the back. I gotta have a sump. A sump system is just the way to go. You can see here, I got mine here. This is the Red Sea sump that comes with the 525. I even got a nitrate reactor in there. I got a protein skimmer. There's my mesh filter socks. I don't change them out as much. They actually provide the nitrates and phosphates that I need and stuff in order to operate this tank at a pretty stable level. I have carbon bags in these two chambers here. You can see all the sponge that's growing there. I always siphon out the detritus that builds up on the bottom here. I have rock work in the sump there, live rock. Now, some people say too much rock is always a bad thing. I think as long as you're able to get in there and siphon out all the detritus that builds up. If you have current, I have a pump right there. I don't know if you can see the current, but there's a pump actually in there circulating the water. So it's not stagnant in any way. It's basically moving, it's flowing, and any detritus buildup, just like I said, I'll siphon it out when I actually do get into my so-called, you know, maintenance, which is 5 gallons, well, 10 gallons in this tank. It's 10 gallons in this system, 5 gallons in the others. Anyways, all I'm saying is that, you know, that biodiversity that builds up on the live rock here, which is live rock, is, you know, all colonized in that rock structure. Now you can have rock, you can be one of those guys that wants those so-called bio bricks and everything. The only thing with bio bricks is that you really got to have that pump flowing right towards it. They do clog, and if they clog and you don't got that proper flow and everything, you'll probably be doing more harm to your system than good. So I like just having more rock than flat brick, but that's my opinion, and that's what I do with my systems. You can do whatever you want in your systems, but all I'm saying is that stability is key. You know, stability is key. I have issues here and there. We all do, with hair algae, you know, algae film on the glass, whatever. There's always one coral not doing well, all the rest of them are, and you're wondering, why is this not one coral not doing well? It happens. It's part of the reefing hobby. You know, we're not all perfect. Like I said, have my own dosing regimen. I like my light setup the way I do it. I think it works fine. It gives me the proper spectrum. It gives me the intensity of light that I like, with the glow factor, with the blue and the white, you know. So what you're kind of seeing right now, even with the orange filter, is kind of like what I'm seeing now. There's a little bit more of a little tiny tint more of blue, but not that much. My acros, all my SPS, Montes, whatever and stuff like that are growing to a point where I need to start basically trimming back. So, you know, you can see there's some good coloration going on with these guys here, and that's the Maleficent. The Optimus Prime is starting to get some green hue on the bottom portion right there. You can see there's this, I keep forgetting what this Monty's called, but oh man, this guy just told me the other day what it was. Anyways, so you can even see this little acro right here that pretty much died out completely. I left his dead body right there, his bleached out body, and look at, already you see new growth. You see new growth and stuff. So even at a microscopic level, we may not see it to the eye, but something was there and it started growing back. So green slimer doing good. You can see all these other corals doing fine, doing well. You got corals in the back here. So a piece of the setosa dropped from here down here, and now it's starting to grow down there. So I just glued him on because he was just right there, and I said, oh, he's doing fine. So I just put a little glue right there on the bottom and pasted him on, and there he is. And maintenance wise, I don't really do too much maintenance with this tank besides do my, I'm not even doing weekly water changes anymore. I'm doing more like bi-weekly or every 2 weeks. So every 2 weeks I'll get into it, do the 10 gallons, siphon out the sump and all that, put back in the good water and stuff. I'm not doing any water exchanging where I have you can say an automatic what is that, automatic water change unit and stuff, you know, just filtering out water or replacing water. I, like other YouTubers, believe that's not a water change. I think you're just exchanging, like what I just heard recently on one YouTube stream or video, that you're basically just exchanging water. It's not a true water change when you have these automatic water change systems doing it for you, but whatever, to each its own, you know, it's whatever you want to do. Now, everything has been the same with my bedroom system for the past year and a half with this, before I finally found a stable point of just leaving it alone and not having to tinker with anything. Sometimes my magnesium levels will go up a little. Sometimes the calcium levels are a little too high. Like the calcium levels right now are at 485. That's a little too high for me. I like to have it like at least around 460, 4 something. But I didn't down point the milliliters being dosed. I just left it alone because I just switched over to Tropic Marin. That's been 3 months. So I think it's still too soon to try to switch anything or change anything. So if numbers start swaying a little bit more higher, and then I'll try to change something. But I don't want to tinker with anything just yet. Alkalinity levels are fine. Magnesium is fine. Nitrates and phosphates are fine. Don't really test for ammonia that much. Don't really know what the ammonia levels are in this system right as of this point. You know, other than that, the corals and everything are doing fine in this system. You know, the sand bed kind of gets built up on that corner over there. You can see how high it is, and one of the reasons is because I have these wrassies. Okay, these twin spot wrassies that have been growing and getting larger. They live in that area. They go in there. They go. So this is their home, and I will leave it be. I'll leave it be. I rake my sand. I do a little rake here and there to get that, you know, get that dirtiness up. Once in a while, I actually put a siphon tube in the water and siphon out some of that crud and get the sand bed. I do that every 2 months, you know. And that's what I do with this tank. I basically try to just leave it alone and let everything grow and let everything do its thing. The clown trigger has been doing well. I'm not going to put a clam back in here. The clam has died out. I posted that in my last video. It had nothing to do with the clown trigger or anything. It just was, I think, just on its own. Just didn't like what was going on. It was getting, what was happening was that it was getting messed with. The clams, I mean the clam itself was having snails and crabs walk around it, walk on it, eating the little little algae film that grows on top of the shell or on top of the clam, and it would just, the weight of it sometimes would just flip it over. His foot didn't actually grab anything. So I think all the you can say, you know, him being bothered by them each night or each day is just he just took his toll and just said, you know what, I have enough. I'm going to do an emergency eject and hope for the best, and it just didn't come out well for him. So anyways, the 525 is doing well. I got a chiller on here. It's warm here in the San Francisco Bay Area in California. You know, sometimes outside it can be a whole different temperature, but you know, this house locks up heat and it gets warm regardless if I have the windows open or not. Okay, pH in the system is always at around an 8.2. Sometimes they'll go up to 8.3, but usually 8.2 is where it stays at, you know, during the day hours, and then it'll drop down to like a 7.9 in the evening hours. So this system is doing well. The fish are doing great. Corals are doing great. Inverts are doing great. You know, the animals are thriving. They're nice and fat. They're not thin. I feed them only twice a day with some nori sheets in between. And I do a morning feeding and evening feeding. I don't overfeed. I want them to graze. I want them to do their thing. I don't want them to be reliant on just simply me just throwing food in there. Okay, they're not thin. They're all nice and fat. You can see they all got a belly. They're all good. They're all very healthy. You won't see any bone, you know? So it's like, I'm not one of those overfeeders. I can't do 5 feedings a day. I can't do even 4 or 3 feedings a day. I'll do 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening. When I get back from work, I throw a nori sheet in there for them. They graze on it, they eat it. The clown trigger loves it, freaking races after it, you know? And that's all I do with this tank. Okay, so this system is doing well. Pumps, everything's fine. Switched over to titanium heater. I got the Inkbird controlling the heater right now. It's not actually on the controller itself. I am gonna do the GHL controller on this system. I do have the bigger version, or you can say I don't have the mini. I was thinking of maybe just getting a mini for this. Now, that being said, I do have the system. I might as well maybe just connect it, but I'll see how I feel about it. I still have right now the Digital Aquatics Reef Keeper, but I don't trust the temperature probe in there. It's been on this system, and even before it was on the old system, on the fish only system for quite a bit. So I'm not really trusting nor wanting to just rely on that temperature probe at this moment. So I got the Inkbird right now controlling the EIM heater with a titanium heater. So I got 2 heaters on that thing. Either way, control and monitorization is a good thing, but it shouldn't be the only thing. You always got to have hands-on with your system. I don't care what people say. They may say keep your hands out of the tank. Just don't put your hands in the tank like all the time. Just put it in there when you need to. And that's the key thing, need to. If you need to put your hand in there because you're trying to say something, just wash your hands. Make sure you rinse it off with good water, and just dry your arms, dry your hand. You know, I'm a painter. I own a painting company, okay? I know all about chemicals. I know all about solvents, solutions, all this crap that can get onto my skin. You know, it soaks into my pores and all that. Believe you me. I come back home, I rinse myself, and when I have to put my hands in there or whatever, I make sure that, you know, I'm not going to infect my system nor contaminate it, nor, you know, put in anything that's going to leach out of my skin and create some sort of toxic levels or toxic environment for my animals. So I'm not one to go pick up my nails and do this and do that and, you know, overreact on what's going to be leaching out of my skin. I don't do that. I just get into the sink. I just wash my hands like any normal person does, and I get in there, okay? And that's somebody who messes with solvents and oil bases and lacquers and shellacs and all these other things and stuff like that daily. So that's it. That's with the 525. So one of the negative things about this 525 is that I don't really like the stand, and I'm going to show you something, okay? So the stand itself, let's see if I can find a spot here. So on the bottom here, it's already, I don't think you can see that, but it's like MDF material. So once something is broke, or there's a reveal, or something that's opened to the water environment, or any water or any type of moisture can get in there, any little broken seal or something like that from the laminate, it starts to sponge up. And I wish these panels and these doors were fucking solid wood. I hate MDF. I hate particle board. I don't like it, and it's one of the reasons why I got this system in the first place. But I'm I may actually have my friend Caesar, because he's a cabinet maker, just give me some real, replace these doors and just give me some real solid wood doors. And it's like my Frag tank, that nice white. And I'll just probably just pop off this little emblem and just stick it back on. Just put a little adhesive on the back of it and just stick it on, and it's like freaking nothing ever happened. But I might have him do that because I hate MDF. I hate anything that's MDF. And that's one of the things I'm going to talk about with my living room tank. Let's go in the bedroom tank, and I mean in the office tank, and we'll go from there. But bedroom tank doing well, guys. Things are thriving, things are doing well, things are stable. Right. Okay, so now we're in the office tank. Now the office tank is doing fine, doing great. And I'm gonna open up this canopy right here. Okay, and you can see I'm operating on the old AP 700s. Okay, those are the Kessel AP 700s. I got a 360X in the center. The AP 700s have been on this thing since the beginning. It has been growing coral. It has been making things look awesome. I have been taking coral out because it has been overgrowing, and I've been putting coral back in when I need to or when I feel like it. Now, I just bought this new torch right here. This is a Holy Grail torch. Bought him, tried to move it more on this side because I want this side to heal. That's why I had that big old Monty colony right here with all that digi growing in between it and on it and wherever it wanted to. So this is slowly healing. It's been healing a little bit more, healing more in the front right here. Just gonna let this Christmas Monty just go ahead and just grow itself out and do its thing. But the torches do really well. I'm actually thankful that my powder blue, you can see him chasing around the fox right now. As mean as he is, he hasn't been nipping at the torches and stuff. And I took a chance with the Holy Grail because last time he was nipping at a torch, I took it out and I put it in my bedroom tank, and it's still in there and it's thriving right now. He was also nipping at the Duncan colony that I had right here, a small little Duncan colony. And that is now in my Achilles tank and thriving because he was nipping at it. He has not nipped at anything. I haven't seen him nip at any corals lately. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna try the Holy Grail. I'm gonna get that torch and stuff. I know a guy, and that's where I'm gonna get another golden torch. He sells some beautiful torches. This being the San Francisco Bay Area, he's located in Santa Clara, and right next to Levi Stadium, home of the Niners, 49ers. And that's where I get my torches when I do get a torch. He's got some beautiful torches. Anyways, situation here is this big old chalice. There's been some bleaching spots here that are starting to occur. You can see the shadowing effect. Now where there's light, you can see there's nothing wrong. But where there's no light, they're starting to bleach out. I checked the parameters and everything. I did my testing. Everything is still set. You can see the other corals are doing fine. They're growing. Even this trumpet coral, candy cane coral right here, has been growing new heads. This guy is starting to branch out up on top right there. You can see a little branch right there. He's starting to branch. The one that was over here, that was buried over the old Monty colony, is now here doing well. PC Rainbow has been branching out, doing his thing. This aqua right here, growing. Stylopora right there, growing. Digi's growing. Monty's growing. You know, everything's growing. And you can see even this guy here, he's got some beautiful, like, it's like a crystal blue, you know, branches that are coming out of this little acro, this little SPS colony here. And actually looks really nice. But anyways, that being said, everything's doing fine in this tank, but there's always going to be some issues. Now I'm thinking of maybe fragging this whole guy out, maybe leaving this piece here in the light, but I might actually be putting another light here and connecting some sort of a, you know, little something there. And I got a little something here that I can probably, you know, attach here. And I was thinking of maybe putting a 160S or something, because I have extra Kessel lights and stuff, and just probably putting it here and seeing if I can just give it some more lighting so it can have less shadowing. I can attach the light on the bottom here. You know, I've seen people on YouTube get these things and, you know, basically just attach a finish end like here, like so. Sorry, it's going through a cloud effect. And you know, you just mount this piece here, and then you connect it, and then you mount the other piece there, and you got it screwed in, and it's just, there's your little, you know, that's how you can hold your light in place on a canopy top, I guess, or anything else. I don't know. All I know is I'm gonna rig it somehow. So either way, system is doing fine. Got a little bit of hair algae issues still around this area here. Critters are working on it. You can see I got cleanup crew, snails, crabs. I got urchins. I got what is it? Cucumber. So everybody's doing their thing around here. Everybody's doing what they need to do. But the corals are doing well. The corals are doing really well. This guy is growing so large now and stuff, you can't even see the zoa colony of utter chaos that grows in the back here. Before, in previous videos, you can see like all of this was utter chaos. Now all of this is just blocking its view. So definitely gonna be trimming this guy back, and that's gonna definitely be on the menu. But yeah, it's a system that's doing fine, doing great. And this system operates somewhat the same like in the bedroom tank. Dosing boron, dosing sulfate, you know. It's run off a calcium reactor. You know, when I calibrate my pH probes, I do it a little bit differently. I know people are saying, hey, you're supposed to calibrate at 4 and 7. And I know 4 and 7 are for calcium reactors, but I do 7 and 10. It just seems like, you know, 7 and 10 is for salt water. Salt water is what goes into the calcium reactor, salt water. So if the pH probe itself is calibrated and fixed to a fine point, either it be 7, 10, 4, and 7, you're still going to get, you know, an accurate reading, regardless. You're still going to get that accurate reading. My calcium reactor will never drop below 6. It'll never do that. It just won't. You know, so if my calibration is 7 and 10 and I still go a little bit below 7, it's still gonna fit, it's still gonna work, it's still gonna do what it needs to do. And I recalibrate these things every month and a half to 2 months. I'm not a lazy reefer. I do my due diligence. I do my maintenance. All right. So I you know, I had a video with me calibrating pH probes and stuff like that to the Geo calcium reactor. I actually took that off because, you know, my girlfriend wanted me to do that video showing my method, my way of things, but I understand too that there's people out there that watch these videos for accuracy, watch these videos for what is the proper method. You know, unfortunately with my systems, nothing's ever going to be truly proper because every reef system is different, okay? You can get advice from BRS, from Saltwater Aquarium, from your local YouTuber, from all these other YouTube guys and stuff out there, you know, from your local LFS, and it may not even do you any good because unless you understand your system, unless you understand, you know, what is in your water, what's not in your water, and then you're not truly going to have an understanding on how to create stability. Stability is a key thing. Patience is a key factor as well. You know, but I hear from other people, who's patient these days? I know none of us are truly patient, but you know, as long as you're patient enough to see things better itself, not worsen itself, and then you're gonna succeed in this hobby. But things do take time. Trial and error is a huge factor in this hobby. And that's one of the things that we tend to not talk about because a lot of these YouTubers always, you know, want to engage in trial and error. You see a lot of these YouTubers out there and stuff, you know, wanting to say, want to try this new toy, wanting to try this new device, saying, hey, what's this that I just got in the mail? Hey, what's this that I just got? Hey, open this. Do you really think that they're going to be opening up that protein skimmer and putting a new protein skimmer in their freaking sump every freaking month or every week? You're stupid if you're going to be doing that. But them, they do it because they're getting paid to do that. Me, I don't ask for subscribers. I don't ask for anything and stuff like that. I just like to just show a little bit of how my systems are doing, what's going on. I don't change anything, you know. I keep everything the same. There's nothing really to change. Look at, I got Kessel AP700s on my tank, okay? Still, I got Kessel AP700s on my living room tank. I'm not changing much of anything. And if you're going to succeed in this hobby, you got to create stability. And that comes with the person, that comes with the mechanisms, and that comes with the water quality. All of it is in conjunction. You got a triangle. What does the triangle do when you spin it? You create a circle. The ecosystem starts spinning. You start stabilizing it enough where it's going to literally take care of itself. Still, you got to do your due diligence and get in there. You got to clean the glass. You got to, you know, rake out the sand bed here and there. If you have a sand bed, there's people out there that like bare bottom. Do what you got to do. Do what you like. You know, me, I'm a sand guy. I just like it looking more of an actual reef. You know, if I'm gonna put my head in the ocean water and look at something, I kind of want it to look somewhat like what I have in my own house. It's not gonna look exact, but that's the beauty about this hobby, right? The beauty of it is that you get to go to your local LFS or go to you can say some sort of convention of any sort, either it be a Reefapalooza or an Aquacella or whatever, and you get to pick out these corals and you get to go, oh man, is this gonna do well in my system? Because it's all eye candy. And you know, eye candy comes with, you know, a price, and the price is doing the caretaking, doing the maintenance, doing your due diligence, and just making sure that everything is going to go well before you place that animal in your system. Because these are animals. This is life. This is life. You know, and even with my Anthias in this system, I know people say if you're going to have these fish, you're going to have this, you got to feed them 5 times a day. Honestly, I have the same feeding regimen for all my fish and all my systems. They get fed twice a day, in the morning and the evenings. Once, probably 3 times a week, I'll put some pellet food in there and just drop some pellets up on top and it'll go in there. But that's all they get. They're not thin. They're happy. Same one, same this and that. But I'm not telling you that that's not what you want to do. Believe you me, this is how it works in my system. You can buy Anthias and you can buy this, and all of a sudden you're doing the 2 feeding a day thing, and it's not working for you, and they die or whatever and stuff like that because they're just not getting fed enough. I really believe these animals acclimate in themselves to the way I do things, you know, because it's life, you know. It's like when you go to the snow. If you're going to go to, like here in California, if I'm going to go up to Lake Tahoe, what am I going to do? I'm going to put on a heavy jacket and I'm going to get myself ready for the environment. Well, that's what these fishes do, and the corals do as well too. They acclimate themselves to the environment. But you don't want to create something toxic, nor do you want to create the instability of where they're not going to be able to acclimate to a certain range of that environment. There has to be a range, you know. There can't be a swing effect like this. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to cause an earthquake here. I just want to do flatline, you know. Either it's like it's death for us, but it's stability for this. For a reef system, having it more flatline is what you want. Having it go like this, like a heart rhythm, or you know, like a heartbeat or an earthquake or this and that, is not what you want. So all I'm saying is that, once again, stability in my systems, maybe a little bit more different than stability out on what you hear from other guys on YouTube or from your local LFS or from just random people out there. I'm just showing you what's going on in my systems. And calcium, alkalinity, and everything is doing fine. Magnesium in this system went up to 1500, which is too high for me. It took me a month and a half to drop it down to 1400. And now I'm dosing magnesium again, and I'm only doing 2 milliliters a day. 2 milliliters a day. Okay? Just to keep it at 1400. I like it at 1250, 1300, 1250 is my range. But if it's at 1400, then fine. You know, that's okay. You know, most of the salts that we get, the magnesium levels are like either 1250 Red Sea Blue Bucket to 1400 Tropic Marin or whatever. You know, so it just depends on what you're getting. But me dosing Tropic Marin is not the reason why the chalice is having its little bleaching spots or the reason why I'm having a hair algae effect. That's been going on before that. It's been showing little signs of bleaching before when I was doing Red Sea Blue Bucket. I know it's not Tropic Marin. Tropic Marin is actually doing really well in my systems. I noticed some more color in the SPS in my bedroom tank because of the fact that I am with Tropic Marin now. So that being said, you know, I do things slowly. I change water out slower than usual, you know, and that's pretty much why I'm on a 2-week regimen right now with water changes, and I'll go back to 1 week. I don't want to make it seem like it's going to be a harsh change at first. If something was to change, they don't like fast changes. Nothing goes good fast. In a reef system, we all know it, we all hear it. Things happen slowly for the better. Things happen faster for the worser, you know? So fast is bad, slow is good. All right, no heavy pedaling here and stuff like that. No heavy foot on the gas pedal in this system either. But let's go check out the living room tank and stuff and see what's going on over there. All right, so here we are in the living room tank. Things are going well, but you better say bye-bye to this whole stand right here. The tank is gonna be gone. I just ordered myself a new system. So I'm gonna get, what is it? This is 48 inches long. So it's gonna be a 48 24 by 24. So it's gonna be just 120 gallons. This is 90 something gallon tank. I'm gonna do 120. I am gonna take all this rock work and all this coral and I'm gonna do a tank transfer. I'm not gonna keep the sand bed. I'm gonna put a white sand bed. This is black and white mixed together. I'm just gonna do white with not such fine sand. I'm gonna actually do a little bit more coarse sand, or whatever you want to call it, but it's not going to be as fine as it is. So I am going to get a new sand bed. I'm going to rearrange the rock work and stuff. I'm actually going to change around the coral display. There's going to be a little bit more arches, but this is actually on an arch. It's just that you can't tell because there's so much coral growing around. So I'm going to try to move things around and maybe trim back some corals, maybe give away a few corals and stuff. But it's a Vizio tank. It comes with a black back and all that. It's gonna have a Euro brace. I'm gonna have a nice maple stand with it. It's gonna be matching more this one over here. And I'm gonna have a little bit more room in the sump area. I don't know yet if I'm gonna get a new sump. I kind of like the sump that's in here now, but I am gonna be able to change this all up and stuff. So definitely gonna get rid of all this spaghetti. I am gonna put the new GHL controller in here and I'm gonna get everything set up nicely. It's gonna look so much cleaner, but the way things operate is basically gonna be the same, okay? And you know, it's not gonna be much too difference of anything except the fact that it's gonna be a better stand. Now this stand, you can see, is already sinking. It's going down here. This is MDF, and this is why I hate MDF. This stand is already over 10 something years old. I think 12 years old. It's old, it's old. And I'm afraid that the sump is just gonna just crush in, it's just gonna fall. I don't wanna come back home and see this whole system on the ground. This will die out if this isn't circulating. You know, I just don't want to see anything happening. I don't want to see my dogs hurt. I don't want to see anything hurt. I hate MDF. I hate anything that's particle board. So it's going to be a solid wood cabinet. And I'm going to keep the same lights on there for now. I'm going to keep the AP700. And that's what I have right here. I'm going to take away those little moonlights and I'll just place a little something else there to create more of a moonlight effect. But definitely gonna get some things rearranged. Now this guy is getting big for some reason. You know, sometimes he gets huge, man, like big, and he's going through his big phase right now, so much that I had to move this coral, this little this war coral over here, up here. So this guy's up here now, which he used to be down here, so I actually had to move the whole rock. So I don't know what's going on, but they're just going through that nice good little, I'm gonna grow big. I'd rather them stay like this. I love it when they're around this size, but sometimes they do get to that enormous size where it's like 2 hands in one. I can't show you on the screen, but anyways, yeah, so that's what's gonna be happening here. Basically, it's just gonna be a transfer with a new system of control and monitorization. And other than that, it's gonna look cleaner. It's gonna look better, it's gonna look cleaner. When I put that nice white sand bed in there with the archwork and stuff, I'm gonna take out a few zoas. I actually might give this to my LFS or somebody else that I know that sells coral. But I'm actually gonna trim out and My frag system is full, so I'll see what I can do. But that ain't gonna happen until like a couple months from now. I just made the order. So, you know, it's just gonna be a little while. But once I get it, oh man, I'm gonna have to plan for that day of transfer, because it's gonna take me one full day to do this. And yeah, so I am not going that much bigger, just a little bigger. I don't want to go too big and stuff. I'm already exhausted with work and with the amount of tanks that I have, and with my dogs. There's Kona, what's going on? You know, and just life itself, girlfriend and all, and just, yeah, life. It can take a toll on your body and everything and stuff. And, you know, I love this hobby. I love the differences that come along with it. It's just like here, you know, you see, look at that. I got 6-line Rassies. I got 2 of them. There's one up there. There's one over here, wherever he went. And, you know, look at that. Look at, you see both of them? It's a pair. They're a pair of Rassies. Look at, there's 1, 2 right there. Zoom, zoom, zoom. And who says that you can't have 6-line Rassies or more than 1 in your tank, huh? And that's what I'm saying. Sometimes you gotta go, sometimes I just go against the rules and I just try it out and see what works, and, you know, trial and error once again, you know, trial and error. This hobby is based off of trial and error. You take trial and error away from this hobby, there is no hobby. And right now with that so-called Lacey Act and everything and all these new things that they want to throw at the hobby, you know, who knows what's gonna happen. But one of the things I believe too that this hobby needs to stop doing too, and I know we talk about it, and I know we say we don't show the bad things, we don't show the negative things and stuff like that. Well, we just got to start helping each other out when it comes more to just trying to create an environment that's going to be best for the animals, you know. And I don't know, you know, that's the thing, trial and error. We all begin as hobbyists. We've all began with trial and error. We don't get it right the first time. You know, we lose life, we lose coral. You know, there's people online right now, YouTubers that I'm pretty sure you guys know, that still show you bleached out SPS or this and that. It happens. So, you know, it's a dilemma, and it's a thing that is gonna get talked about for a while. But, you know, I hope to God this hobby doesn't really come out to a point where, you know, you're gonna have to carry a so-called permit or a license, you know, to house these beautiful creatures in your home. Because if it comes down to that, it's like, before you get into this hobby, they might actually say, hey, you got to go to class, you got to go to school, you got to understand it, you got to pass tests, you got to do this and that before you even give you your first tank and stuff like that. So trial and error is going to happen in a classroom. It's going to happen in a so-called, you know, place where you got to look at stuff and see things and not have it in your own home. Who knows? But we'll see what's up, we'll see what's going on, you know. Only time will tell. But trial and error is a big, huge part of this hobby, and we all go through it. And even the so-called experienced hobbyists, the ones that say, oh, you know, if they don't know me, how can they not know me? You know, you got guys like that on the YouTube. If you don't know me, you don't know me. Come on, you got to know me. You know, I'm the best YouTube reefer out there. Whatever, man. All I know is that you do your thing and let other people do theirs and stuff, and we all just help each other out and stuff. It's a small community. I see the same names all the time out there. You know, I like to listen more than chime in. That's my thing, and I'll keep doing that, because I don't need to try something different. Unless I see something that's actually working in all systems, I may say, hey, let me maybe try this out. But I'm not gonna implement it on all my tanks. The beautiful thing about having more than one system, or even 2 or 3, is that you can try it on one and not affect the others, you know? And that's the thing what I have with my systems, with calcium reactors and 2-part. Now, I've tried it with both, and both work fine. And I will keep doing both. I'm not gonna say one, oh, all calcium reactors, or one, all 2-part. No, I like them both, and I'll do both. And I'll calibrate my probes the way I feel like I need to calibrate in order to get an accurate pinpoint of measurement. And that's what I'm doing. Now, going on to the Achilles tank, once again, we're having some sort of a bacterial issue with the same type of, you know, pallies of colony right there, whatever you want to call it. But that little colony of pallies are going through a little bacterial infection. Now, what happened to my golden torch? So all of a sudden one day, these guys that got infected, the golden torch, all of a sudden the strands started flittering like right here, around here, you know, because they do that, and it just jellied out and died. It just brown jellied and just died. And I took it out, you know, I noticed it started getting a little jelly towards the side right there. You know, I took out the coral, I did iodide dip, I tried my best to save it, man. Tried my best to save it. But these little bacterial infections that come along these pallies, see, this side doesn't have anything, okay? All of a sudden this side does. You can see that system over there, same pallies. It's just weird how bacteria works, but it's like if it attacks a certain something and just stays at that one thing and then that's it. Nothing else gets affected. But I don't know, you know, there's answers that, you know, I'm still reading and trying to learn, you know, and I say too, if anybody has an answer for that, is why bacteria only tries to infect only one colony or one thing. But, you know, it's life, you know, life makes decisions, life does what it wants. And, you know, if it's an army and stuff like that, it's like unfortunately like what's going on with one country to another. If it decides to invade and raid and destroy, it will do that, you know. And unfortunately, my golden torch that I've had for a really long time was part of that, you know, was part of that genocide. Anyways, I'm gonna get a new golden torch. Not yet though. I'm gonna get this once this heals and everything, and I feel comfortable on getting something new in this tank. I will do so, but I will get a new golden torch for this Achilles tank. The Achilles is doing well. You can see all the other corals are doing well. And what's not in there? There's no aptasia. The peppermint shrimp did its job. There's not one single head of aptasia. Well, maybe one, like right there, right underneath that Ricordia mushroom. And that's the only one. There's none. There's none around. I threw 40 peppermint shrimp in here. There's probably 30 of them still left. And they're in there. When I throw food, they come out like freaking little warriors in the night, and they feast on it. And you know, they did their duty, man. They did their duty. And I can't wait to put some in my frag tank, because I'm going to show you what's going on in there. All right, guys. Well, let's go check it out. These tanks are doing well. New tanks on the way. You know, it's all a waiting period. It's all about patience. And once again, stability is a key factor. Ain't that right, Corner? Okay, so let's go check. All right, guys, so here's my frag system. Everything's doing well. You can see my girlfriend's candy cane coral is pretty much all healed. There's no more bleached out areas. Healing very, very nicely. I just dropped in that Monty right there. That's healing. All these other Monties have healed. Now, there's a little bit of aptasia in the back. Look at all that aptasia. Oh, Jesus. And in the back there, look who's not doing his job. It's the copper band. The copper band rather just pick at little fragments of detritus and some mysis and brine, and not pick at the at the aptasia, which I brought it in here to do just that. There's some what is it, Nephthia coral right there, green and purple or red or whatever you want to call it, and the acros are doing fine up on top. A little bit of an algae film. I haven't done any cleaning yet. It is Friday over here today, on this day and this time, on this little quick look that I'm providing you guys. But I am going to do my due diligence and do my maintenance and get that all cleaned up and make sure everything's doing well. So what I'm going to do in here, I'm going to add the 20 peppermint shrimp. I'm going to get a 20 peppermint shrimp pack. I think it's Salty Bottom. I'm going to go to Salty Bottom, order that. Go ahead and get that in here, and then I'm going to just throw them all in there. And I already know they're going to do their deed. They're going to do their job, and they'll eradicate all that in there. So I'm not going to give out any of these corals or anything just until I actually get rid of this aptasia. But there's aptasia in there. It's part of the hobby. It happens. You know, we all go through it. I don't want to do some sort of, you know, I tried aptasia. What is it? F-aptasia, aptasia X. And I know F-aptasia is something that people are trying to promote out there. They're saying, do this, do that. Go with the peppermint shrimp. You know, just throw a freaking army of peppermint shrimp in there. If you have a copper band that isn't taking out that aptasia for you and stuff, you know, or if you can't harness or have the ability to put a copper band in there because you fear the fact that you may lose the copper band. I do well with copper bands. I've had copper bands die a little here and there, not frequent. No, they all do alive. You see on my other tanks, my copper bands are still in there. I'm not getting new ones or anything. They're still the same copper bands. So the thing is, this is the dud. This is, you know, just doesn't want to do its job. Maybe it doesn't know what to do. But peppermint shrimp, I'd rather do that. I've tried F-aptasia. It just clusters, it gets in there, but it does work. But the thing is that you're killing other coral around it. And if you have a situation like this, and then if you have wrassies or other fish, they peck at it, and then you got that white goo going around, you know, I'm not trying to chemicalize or trying to cause some sort of disruption in my system and stuff. If I can try to do it more of a natural way, and then there's the thing. People say, what's so natural when this whole thing isn't natural? This is all synthetic. This is all man-made. This is all created and stuff. Well, you know, you know, the creator and from the creator created this. Okay, so whatever. All I know is that I rather use real life than chemical, than solution. Okay, so if I can get some peppermint shrimp to do its thing, and then I'm gonna do that. But I'm gonna throw 20 peppermint shrimp in there soon and get it going. You can see Sump system is doing great, still dosing the sulfate, magnesium, 2-part. Everything's doing fine. Got my RO chamber right there, RO unit. And yes, it's RO water. Even though I took our water out, poured it into here, and poked my finger in the water, doesn't mean that it's not RO water. It's RO water. It's fresh, good RO water that's in that RO chamber. I don't care what people say. I don't care if I drop a probe in that water and take it out and stuff like that. It's still RO water. It's still filtered out water, filtered out tap water, and that's the bottom line, okay? I don't care what you say. Anyways, everything's going well. Let's see, let's see, 8.1 is pH of the day today, 8.19, you might as well just say 8.2. But 8.2 is a thing that's in this house. I do have my windows open. I do have a lot of fresh air that comes in here. So, you know, it's just California weather. You know, it's really good. Maybe that's why it costs so a lot to live here, especially in the San Francisco Bay Area. Ugh, the cost of electricity. But other than that, things have been going fine. Things have been going fine. I'm going to be placing some more coal in here, but first some more frags, but I want to get rid of that aptasia first. So, you know, it's all a game of patience, and once again, I don't want to disturb the stability factor that I have in the system. This is a new system. Because I already am an experienced reef hobbyist, I know how to set up things a little bit faster than others. Fast is never a good thing, but if you have the experience and you have the knowledge to create something, then do what you want to do. Do it. Knowing that you have the ability to keep these things alive, because each of these coils that I put in here, not one of them have bleached out, not one of them have died, not one of them have done, you know, anything erratic or anything and stuff. Look at, there's even some war coral right there, because when I moved it from my living room tank, that one rock, the war coral, what I was saying a little bit earlier with the anemone growing big, those are little fragments that broke off, and I said, you know what, I'm going to save those little fragments because it's life. And look at, they're already healing, they're doing fine, and that's what it is. It's a healing. It's life, man. Look at new heads right there on that utter chaos already growing. See, new heads. It's just, you know, you can see all around these Montes, there's no bleached out areas. Now, you know, where what used to be cut and stuff like that, everything has healed. Everything has healed all around. It is now just healed all the way around the cut spots, you know. So feels good when you know what you're doing. But, you know, I don't cater to the beginner reefer. I don't cater to the experienced reefer. I cater to myself. I cater to my systems, my tanks, my dogs. Yeah. And you know, it's just that's me. But I'd like to show people out there what I do and how I succeed in my own systems with just having somewhat simple but reliable instruments, tech, light, you know, spectrum, micromoles of spectrum and par, micromoles of par, and this and that, and you know, whatever you want to call it. There's a name, there's a title, there's a certain terminology for everything. But once again, too, when it comes to reefing terminology, we shouldn't hate each other or put shame on another or shame on one person for calling this two heads or saying this, or, you know, I'm not going to criticize you on the way you plumb your system or this and that. Do what you want to do. As long as your system works, makes you happy, and you feel good about what you're doing in this hobby, that's what a hobby is. But you got to understand too, this is life. This is life. And we love life, and we want to keep things living, not dying. And, you know, once again, trial and error. I don't know how we're going to fix it. In time, you know, just like I said when I chimed in one time and stuff, unless we have the AI with legs and feet and arms and hands and can walk, and the controller is no longer that control panel that you see up there. The controller is the actual machine. We may have more precision and more less mistakes and mishaps and stuff like that, because the human factor, the human itself, the man, the woman, the person, we're always going to make mistakes. Mistakes are part of the hobby. We learn from it. We progress from it. Trial and error, it's just something, you know, without trial and error, we wouldn't be where we're at today. I learn from others. Others learn from me. I learn from my mistakes. You learn from yours. It's all just one big learning game. One big circle. So anyways, my dog's telling me it's time for a walk. You want to go walkie, Kona? Kona, want to go walkie? Or you want a treat? Want a treat? Okay. Yeah, she's hungry, but I'm going to take her for a walk. All right, guys. Peace and patience and stability. And yeah, this is the Herm. Out.